Miraculous Ladybug is undoubtedly one of the best series I know, and one of the reasons Felix, or Argo, aka Adrian's cousin that just looks exactly like him. And it's incredible because the character seemed originally to be made as more of a joke than anything, right? But the thing to understand is that he was developed in such a way that was just perfect. And the main proof of that is his song, Snap of My Fingers, that was first sung by Gabriel Agreste. So if you have been to this channel lately, you probably noticed that I have posted 2 videos about this song with the 2 of them, and I'm gonna be analyzing it now because of how incredible it actually is. I'm no music professional, and if there are people that actually know music that are watching this, please analyze it even better than I did. But already I see so much, and I think the best way to start is down to the lyrics, because already just with this you can see how well the 2 characters were developed just in these songs. So to give a bit of context, in Argo's song, or Felix's song, he has the peacock Miraculous, he made his giant moon, and now he's going on a typical Disney villain thing with his typical Disney villain song, which is just incredible. And he's essentially just making everyone disappear to create a perfect world for him and Adrian. So he kept Marinette alive. I can't say Adrian. Oh my god, it sounds horrible. Adrien. I'm gonna start saying Adrien. That's how they say it in the Portuguese version. It's how I started watching it, and it sounds so much better than Adrian. So he went to save Adrien. He keeps Marinette alive, and he keeps Kagami alive, I believe. And now he's essentially just going on a killing spree, making everyone disappear. And for Gabriel, he is celebrating the fact that he just found the identities of Scarabella and Kitty Noir, or whatever their names are, when Alia and Sam replaced Ladybug and Cat Noir for an episode. In the lyrics, I actually translated the lyrics from the French as literally as I could, not literally, but like as correctly as I could. And what you can see is that Gabriel is a lot more manipulative in his lyrics, right? He puts a lot of emphasis on this sort of like manipulation and trickery. I mean, it literally starts with what is drawn is not what you see, what is combined not what you believe. So essentially he's going like, yeah, I've tricked you, right? Because that's what he did. He did his ring to track people's movement, and it worked perfectly, and he was able to find who they are. That's what he's essentially talking about, right? He's praising himself, which is also something he does a lot. While Felix says, everything I want should be mine forever, Gabriel says, everything I want, I get from you. Essentially, I'm taking the things from the others, right? You know, he's much more direct in the fact that, you know, he is the bad guy. He is taking the things for himself. And still, in this whole self-praise idea, he talks about going to solitary heights, while Felix says, I look down to earth. Gabriel simply says, I look down. He doesn't care about what's under him, because it's just whatever is under him. And this is also proved by the fact that visually, whilst that line is being said, Felix is in fact looking down to the world that he just conquered, whereas Gabriel keeps looking up. He wants more, he's looking for more, and he wants to keep on rising. He's never had enough. Which is interesting because while it just cuts to Felix being on the ground, we actually see Gabriel go back down the stairs. Does he do it gracefully? Yes, he does, but still, he goes back down. Another last thing that you can see a lot in the lyrics is the fact that Felix is putting on a much more of a show to the others, right? That's mostly visible, but also you can also kind of hear it in the lyrics. He's making twists on common expressions. All's not gold that glitters, what the eye can see and all that matters. Expressions as butterflies, whereas Gabriel just say that he's flies. And also he's actually singing, right? I mean, first of all, visually speaking, he is actually singing while he does those things, and you see the grace in the way he sings. It's melodic, the notes stay for longer, whereas Gabriel, first of all, isn't singing at all, which is extremely uncanny, because whilst we are used to Gabriel having a perfectly straight face throughout the whole thing, like a fixed face whenever we see him, it's usually a straight face. Here he is just smirking the entire time, doesn't open his mouth once, he's just smiling. I don't even know if he blinks. Does he even blink?
A few moments later.
Oh my god, we don't even see Gabriel blink. He doesn't even blink during, I mean, we don't see him blink during the entire scene. Wow, I just realized that now. I mean, they made it so incredibly uncanny, and also the way he sings as well. Like, it's somewhat melodic, but it's still very stable. Like, it's a very stable melody. He doesn't play with the notes, and also he cuts them. He starts straight, he ends straight, and that's it. Like, it's very short, it's straight to the point. He isn't putting on a show for other people. He's not making a show, though he's dancing a lot more brutally and a lot more visibly and vividly than Felix, that has a much more calm and fluid, much more graceful, right? He really shows his superiority through that gracefulness and self-confidence. Whereas Gabriel is a lot more brutal and excessive and aggressive. He's reckless with his movements, with the way he sings, and that also translates the character perfectly, because that's how he is throughout the series. That's why he loses so many times. It's Felix's malleability, like the way he's confident in himself rather than overconfident, is the reason he succeeds, right? Physically, not just metaphorically, physically speaking, he gets to a much higher point than Gabriel during the song. He never actually goes back down. We never see him go back down. He is at his highest and he stays there. Then the song shows it perfectly. The fact that Gabriel is celebrating a victory, and you know, it is a victory after all, but then he's interrupted by Natalie immediately. It all goes down to shambles. Whereas Felix does win. He makes everyone disappear, he makes Ladybug disappear afterwards as well.
You've lost, Ladybug.
Felix is at his highest point that he's ever been and that he ever will be. He is winning, and he has won. And the song translates that so incredibly well. The colors also have a big impact. Gabriel is in the whole white vibe, but you can still see a lot of the house, I guess you can say stain, right? Like there's a lot of black, grey, gold, blue. Like there's many colors that are sort of staining the overall white environment, right? He doesn't have as much control as it may seem, because there's still a lot of black to an extent, whereas Felix is completely painting the entire area. Even the lightest colors, the police cars that should be white, the smoke, even them are sort of pink, right? Reddish pink. He is dawning over everyone with his colors, with his lights. And even though it's much darker, you can see the way he is in control of the color of the light. He is the light source to an extent, right? He controls the light source, rather, it's his moon. And also, I'm just gonna show the clip right now because it's such perfect. There's this one scene where the brightness, like on both screens, so on Gabriel's screen you have the painting of him and Adrian that completely blocks the top half in black, and then you have the bottom, which is in white of the wall, right? And you have him in the middle, also white, also lighter colored, right? And in Felix's scene, the exact same moment of the song, you have the exact same thing going on with the colors. We have the dark sky at top, the bright lights of the police cars and of the smoke on the bottom, and the Ferris wheel in the middle, staining the dark top with bright lights. It's incredible. And it's not the only thing that mirrors. Throughout the entire song, Felix and Gabriel either directly copy each other or mirror each other. They're either walking in the exact same direction or the exact opposite. They're either both facing us, or one is facing us and the other isn't. They're either both going up or both going down. Like, you never have... They're always mirroring each other visually as well, which is just... Even in the start, you have Gabriel that starts from the bottom, his back turned on us, and then you have Felix, where it starts, like the scene starts up in the sky, and he also starts up from the sky, lands facing us straight away. Like, he's facing the camera, he's showing, hey, here is me. Whereas Gabriel takes good amount of time before actually starting to look at us, right? And that's about the... And there's only like 2 times in the entire video that he actually looks at us as well. They mirror each other in such ways that it just shows, like, it just represents their character and their ambitions, the moment of the series, right? They are both in a moment of victory, and yet you can perfectly see the flaws in Gabriel. You can see what made him lose many times, even in his times of victories, whereas Felix just looks like he is winning. He doesn't look overconfident. He is showing that he is powerful enough, whereas Gabriel is just alone in his manner, sort of dancing around in a place that he hasn't under control anyways, and he's still talking about reaching those solitary heights. Post-recording editing here, I also just realized that even though Gabriel is in the comfort of his manner that he's got under his own control anyways, so it's perfect for him, perfect for his celebration, and Felix is literally in Paris, just the entire city could easily be against him, Gabriel ended up being interrupted like halfway through the song, whereas Felix just makes everyone disappear and finishes the song. Even Ladybug wasn't able to interrupt him, and by the time she lands, he has finished. And honestly, I've been talking for quite a while, but if you have anything else that you found about this, anything intricate in maybe like the instruments, or maybe some kind of detail that you found in the lyrics or the animation or the certain intonation that they sung in, if you actually know what you're talking about when you watch this, because I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't know a thing about animation, about movies, about music. I barely understand anything, and I've been able to compile quite a nice list, maybe a biased list because I just like the song and the lyrics, but still. So yeah, if you want to analyze further, I also made an overlap video where there's left and right sound and the images are overlapping each other, and I also made a side-by-side one, which is once again left and right sounds, if you want to use your headphones, and I also wrote the lyrics in English and French for both the characters, so that you can really get into it if you want to use them for if you want to make any video analyzing it or any content, and you want to use the videos I made, you go ahead, download them, use them as you wish, as long as you credit me. I am happy to be part of any sort of analysis that anyone makes. And with that said, that was the video, and I hope you liked it. So, in true Editing L fashion,